Today I just wanted to go over a few things about the Deaver springs on these trucks. This is a 2006 Chevrolet Silverado. I previously had it mentioned on my channel. This is my truck. I got it up on the lift today, obviously. So this truck has a 6-inch super lift and a 3-inch body lift. If you wanted any details on the truck, I have an old video about it. I'm gonna do an update once I get a few more things done to it. But so I had 5-inch blocks on top of stock blocks back here. As you can see now, I have no blocks at all. All I have is Deaver springs. And these are, if I'm not mistaken, the G26. Here's your part number. Yeah, G26. So these are the half-ton 6-inch lift springs. So I had the 5-inch lift block from Superlift on top of the 2-inch factory lift block. And that gave me, obviously, 7 inches of lift in the back. And here's my stock blocks over here. I gotta grab them anyways. But the problem with the 6-inch Deaver springs is they do not give the advertised 6 inches of lift. If you have no lift at all, or any lift, it doesn't matter, and whatever you have, and you add these 6-inch, and I'm doing air quotes, 6-inch Deaver springs, you will only get 4.5 inches of lift. So the way I measure this, because I wanted to make sure that it sat level. So I was about +1 inches in the rear with the 5-inch block on top of the 2-inch factory block. So those on top of the 5-inch, or 5-inch on top of those. But I wanted to sit level. So I needed to drop the rear 1 inch. So, of course, I order 6-inch Deaver springs. Seems pretty intuitive, right? 7 minus 1 is 6. So I get them in the mail. And these shipped all the way from California. Expensive shipping, expensive springs. I got $1,100 tied up in these springs. And before I put them on, I measure the distance from the ground to the fender and the tire to the fender on all 4 corners. And I don't have those measurements with me today. It's been 4 or 5 months since I did this. And I put them on, and immediately the rear end was sagging. I could tell immediately without even driving them at all. And then, of course, after you drive a little bit, they settle in. I ended up losing several inches of lift, as I stated previously. So I have been squatting 2 inches in the rear, which is not good. It's not the look I was going for, and quite frankly, it's kind of embarrassing. That's not, no offense if you like to squat. I'm not trying to, ruffle anybody's feathers, but for me, it's not what I wanted. I didn't like getting ridiculed on the daily about it. So here we are today, several months later. I had to, let me explain one more thing. I had ordered the 8.5-inch U-bolts because I didn't intend on having a block. So as I said, there are the 8.5-inch U-bolts that I ordered. They fit pretty good. And I got those because I wanted the shortest ones possible without having blocks. And I calculated it, and that's what I needed, so I got those. And then I put on the lift springs, and I'm short 2 inches. So then now I either have to try to send the springs back, which they don't accept returns, or try to sell them. Nobody wants to buy them. And then on top of that, buy more springs, which cost even more. So I didn't want to invest another $1,500 in springs. So I had to go and order longer U-bolts again. So here we are today. I have, these should be 9.5-inch U-bolts. Those are 8.5. Since I have about 1.5 inches of threads left on those, I figured 1 more inch, and I should have about 1/2 inch to inch of threads left over once I put in these 2-inch blocks. So that's today, and here we are. Somewhat pissed off at Deaver and quite excited to get it back a level. So I'm about to put it up on the lift some more. It's already up in the air. I'm gonna jack it up and then take these bolts loose and throw on these blocks. All right, guys, so we are back. It took me 36 minutes on the dot to go ahead and put these blocks in. And as you see, these U-bolts were just long enough. I know that one's sticks out a little further, but I got them square as I could. This side came out a little bit more even. But whenever there is a retorque process, so after I drive it, I'm gonna come back in here and retorque them, and then hopefully I'll address that because I do just like to have these sticking out the same amount. So I am going to come back and I will address that for the retorque. But in case any of you were wondering, so for a 6-inch Deaver pack and a 2-inch block, this is a 9.5-inch U-bolt. So if you're anything like me, you like to get the correct length the first time and not have to cut the ends off of them and this and that. This just makes it a cleaner install, just having the right stuff the first time. So 9.5 for this height, which 2-inch block, and I don't know, maybe that's 3.5 inches right there. Dropped it down, got the tape measure out, and just initially, looks like the rear might be a little bit lower still. I'm gonna say the rear is gonna be a little bit lower still, but I know this is not the perfect procedure, but let's go from here. That's about center. In the front, we're looking at right over 13 inches. And this is the side with the gas tank, so it might be a little lower right now. Okay. Okay, wow, okay. Sitting at right at 12. So that's a fair difference right there. That's over an inch. Okay, and this side does look a little higher, this side without the gas tank. Okay, not really. 12. Shoot, don't tell me I need 3-inch blocks. Wow, okay. 13. So the front is still a whole inch taller than the rear, which is depressing to say the least. So I guess I might be doing all this over again once I get tired of this and want to put a 3-inch block in it. But damn, you would think, I guess those Deavers settle down even more. So I guess those springs only come out to like a 4-inch lift, which is really crummy. For all the money you spend, you'd think it'd be closer to what they advertise. And since they don't do returns or anything like that. So really upset with Deaver. Next time I might go with Atlas. But here we are, still squatting 1 inch. But at least now I might be able to pull my trailer without worry of getting into my fenders. It might not be a noticeable squat, but 1 inch. Womp womp. All right, guys, while I got on the lift, I'm probably gonna pull it up and I'm gonna check the rear diff fluid, just see what it looks like. And I might grease some U-joints while I'm in there. But that's that. Womp womp. Sad ending. But I guess I'll have time to address it in the future again. Who knows what I'm gonna do. I might end up getting a better lift kit for it anyways. It fixes that. But I'm gonna put it up and check this diff fluid. So back here at the rear end now. This is obviously as you see, the Mag High-Tech diff cover. This is a high capacity. It adds like a quart of capacity. Probably next time I'd go with like a Banks cover because they're more rounded. And the rounded ones are better for pinion lubrication. But I was just checking. I think I rebuilt this rear end a little over a year ago. And I did the break-in period already. I probably have 20,000 on this rear end with new gears and everything. I'd say this is an acceptable amount of, metal. The dark brown, the dark black stuff, I guess, is metal powder. And you can see some sparklies. But most of them, you can't even feel with your hand. They're just powder. I did see one that was like a little flake. You could actually feel with your fingers. But you can't feel this. This is just powder. And that's why it makes the rag black, I assume. It's just, what do they have, a phosphate coating or something? I don't know. But I'm okay with that. And then after I got that off the dipstick and I pull it out, it just looks like, I don't know, regular gear fluid to me. Smells awful. Well, it smells like gear fluid. Doesn't smell alarming. I just hate the smell of gear fluid. But that's the good thing about this cover is it comes with a dipstick. Actually, I didn't even, let me check that level. I didn't even really pay attention to the level. I was just seeing what was on it. I mean, it's right there in the line. I might put a little squirt in there. I do have the fluid, so I'll grab that. I think it was like a GL, what was it, GL4, GL5 fluid? I don't know, let's run over here and grab that. See what I got. Okay, is this gonna be it? I think that was it. Limited slip. I don't know about that. Maybe that was for the front. Tight bond. I got all sorts of good stuff in here. Is that it? 80-90. 80-90 limited slip. Shit, I don't know. Are they both GL5? If they're both GL5, I don't care. As long as it's got oil on it. I'll go with the Pennzoil. Because I feel like the limited slip went in the front axle. Shit. Okay, now I gotta find a clean funnel. That's probably the hardest thing to find in any shop. Specifically community shop. Because you'll find a freaking funnel down in the floor dry with sand in it. This one doesn't look terrible. A little dusty. But that rear end's been through more than a little bit of dust, you know? Shit, one hand is tough. There we go. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Don't mind the Crocs. Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay, this ball isn't holding it in though. And I torqued this to about 800 foot-pounds. Okay, where are we at? No, it's got an O-ring, so just put it snug. Those O-rings will bust if you over tighten them. All right, well, I'm gonna end it there. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all have a good day. And before y'all go, check out my dad's F600. How about that? 1953. Anyways, y'all take care.